it's a wrap.
Like Saran?
Well, the season is officially over. It's been over. I get it. These games have been an absolute snooze and not exciting for a while, even though they played well in Baltimore largely.
So they've canceled the remaining 10 games of the slate?
Well, the math is over.
No.
The math is over. The Giants officially missed the playoffs for the third consecutive year, and you can start to let the conversation begin. And I know where it already is, and that will now start to ramp up in that it's official. And I don't know.
Can I ask you?
Oh, go ahead.
Because I asked you a week ago what you thought.
What I think is going to happen?
And a week ago, it might have been 10 days, I said, what do you think the percentages are of Farhan stays or Farhan goes? And you said Farhan stays 54%, Farhan goes 46%.
Okay.
And I think this was a week, somewhere in there ago. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to ask you the same question. Not, it's basically what you think.
What I think is going to happen.
Not what you want. Not what you want. Because that's not fair, and you don't ever want somebody to lose their job.
I do not.
Ever.
I do not.
In general, that's not how you roll.
Farhan Zaidi is a good dude. Like, whatever y'all think about him, and I know
you've talked to him in person more times than the entire audience put together.
Yeah. Damn it, Farhan! Farhan is good. He's a good dude, and he has been mischaracterized as a nerd that sits behind a computer and only has numbers and no heart and all that stuff. And I get it. Again, it's similar to what we were just talking about with Brandon Ayuk. It's pro sports. Nobody really cares if you're a nice guy or whatever, except for they kind of do when you are. You know what I mean? Like, I'd argue that Giants fans in particular, like, what do you love about Buster Posey? Well, first and foremost, Buster Posey is one of the best catchers we've ever seen, one of the best players, one of the best leaders. But, like, somewhere on that list, you're like, man, like, I just trust Buster. Buster's like a good dude. He just gets it. Farhan's a really good dude. Is he the right guy for the job right now based on the way this is played out? That's what's being assessed over there. And Dibs, there has been a change in my numbers.
Yeah.
So if 2 weeks ago I said 46% chance Farhan goes,
yeah,
let's add another 20% onto that now.
So you think it's 33% that he stays, 66% that he goes?
Well, that would leave 1% for something else to happen, which would be that he stays and goes, and I don't think he's going to cut his body in half.
That would be crazy.
So let's go.
34, 66 is where you are.
Math is usually your strong suit.
6%.
You're right, but I'm not normal. So I'm going to do 66, 34, 66% chance he goes. I
think that's low.
You might be right.
I think it's low.
You might be right. Like, I just think that it has become very complex to keep him. I think that there's a conversation probably going on over there about what should we do, what do we want to do, and then what can we do. And I think I think we've reached a point where the Giants brass may feel like it's a very tough needle to thread to try to do this again. So that would just be my handicap of the situation. You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco and Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. For a low-rate auto loan, apply online or just ask for First NorCal financing at the dealer. Yeah, so
I wonder if what took place today at all affects the thinking for the Giants, because on the one hand, you had the Giants get eliminated in Baltimore, and on the other hand, you watched one of your free agent pursuits go absolutely historically gaga in Miami with 3 home runs and 10 runs batted in and join a club of one in the 51-51 club, 51 homers, 51 steals. He might get to 60-60, darn it.
He might.
And I'm sure that today is not like, oh, well, based on today, that's it. He's got to go. But today was kind of a stark slap in the face of reality of, the Dodgers have this going on. They put up a 20 spot, and you meekly went out in a matinee laydown in Baltimore.
With, was Donovan Walton in the game?
He sure was. Donnie Barrels 2.0.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know what I mean? We were having this conversation the other day about, as a Giants fan, when was the last time you were excited? at the end of the day, for me, that's the question. And I don't mean because you went to a game one time and the popcorn was warm and somebody hit a home run. You know what I mean? I ended up with great seats thanks to a good friend, and we went to one of the Giants-Dodger games where it was fireworks night and Brett Wisely hit a walk-off home run this year. That happened earlier this year.
That's about as good as it gets.
It was a ton of fun. But, like, did I go home and I'm like, I am excited about Giants baseball? No. When's the last time you had those butterflies, man? Like you did when the Niners were in the playoffs last year. When's the last time you felt excited? And I would argue, it's funny that this went this way. It was literally moments after I got here to start with you.
Geez, 3 years ago.
Shasky's walking down the street with a flag on the Embarcadero, waving it. I had just met the guy. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? This is fun. And the Giants were about to play the Dodgers in the playoffs. And it didn't go well, but it was a hell of a series and a hell of a year. And it was hard not to feel optimistic. It was hard not to feel like the Giants hadn't cracked some sort of a code. That's how it felt then. And there were those at the time who said, this is a facade. This is not real. All the breaks have gone the Giants' way. And through the next 3 years, those opinions have proven to be accurate. And I don't know if I've felt Giants butterflies since then. I almost fainted at a game one time a year ago with my son. It was Little League Day. He got invited to the game through his Little League. We went, me and him, Father-Son Day, and Patrick Bailey in a game that the Giants should have had 100 different ways. And then they were about to gaff it in extra innings. The auto runner had scored, and the Giants were down by 1, and then the first guy made an out, and the second guy made an out, and you're just like, we're going home, dude. I can't believe this. And Patrick Bailey from the right side rifled a home run down the left field line, and me and my youngest son were jumping up and down so high that I almost fell. So high! I almost fell. It was like, so there have been moments, but I'm waiting for, like, when's the last time I walked to the car and I'm like, I think we got something this year.
I can't wait to get back here, right?
Not the entire 3 years. And here you are, like Brandon Ayuk, you got to show it. This is a results-based industry, and 3 years is too long.
Yeah.
It's too long to feel that way. So.
And you're not alone.
Oh, God.
You're not alone.
I was the last one to get here.
Right. And, I mean, you look at today is a good example. Anthony Santander walks you off with home run number 42 this year. And the Giants' leading home run hitter is Matt Chapman, who's got 24 homers. So it'll be another year, it looks like, unless Chappie hits 6 home runs over the last 9 games, which he's allowed to do that. And if not, it'll be another year where a Giant slugger does not reach 30 home runs. Meanwhile, you're watching Shohei Ohtani hit 3 today and get to 51, and Anthony Santander walks you off in Baltimore with his 42nd, and you look around baseball, and it seems like every other team has somebody hitting 30 at least, and it's now been, 15 years since you've had somebody hit 30 in a season?
Gosh, yeah.
Back to Bonds, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost 20 years. Not quite 20, but it's been, since before your kids were born, for crying out loud. So...
yeah.
Not that the home run's everything, but it would be nice to have a little bit of that sizzle.
It would be, but then again, I mean, the Giants won 3 World Series during that window where no one hit 30 home runs.
That's
so,
fair.
like, I know we want that. This year's candidate, of course, was, they got Jorge Soler. Guy didn't even make it out of July, and he's now having one-on-one fights with iPads. Like, just a colossal disaster of a signing. And they were lucky. Sort of like an awkward feather in Farhan's cap in that he signed him, but then he also was able to wiggle out from underneath it, which ends up being a good thing. But, yeah, be that as it may, sometimes I don't think you know what the excitement is or where it's going to come from. You just have to feel it. So this isn't about, like, it's not as simple as who'd you sign in the offseason. Because, come on. You watched what he did in the offseason, and you gave it your stamp of approval. We all did.
Yeah.
We all did. But it didn't work. It didn't work, and this is an organic thing, which is everybody getting excited about a franchise. Sometimes you don't see that coming. You don't know exactly how it's happening, who becomes iconic. Hunter Pence shows up in a car in the middle of a game, in the middle of a season. Next thing you know, he's got a scooter, and he'll never leave San Francisco again. I don't know who those guys are, but they're not here yet. And this year's had some interesting young players come up, some not so interesting young players come up. Is Bryce Eldridge going to continue and be some, like, the 20-year-old we've been waiting for next year? Maybe. But the bottom line is there's just still too many question marks and not enough butterflies. And so I actually don't even care who the hell runs the show. It just needs to be run better.
Well, the show itself is what matters. You're right. It doesn't matter who runs the show. The show has to be better because right now the show is pretty bland. And, you look at your pitching and you've had some bright spots, although Logan Webb quietly over the second half of the year is not looking very ace-like to me. And, Blake Snell, you think about him opting out and looking for more money. It just feels like the things that you've been able to hang your hat on that were positive this year, a lot of it's going to probably go away anyway.
I want to just reiterate real quick something that you referenced and make sure everybody heard what you said. Shohei Ohtani today, he didn't just hit 3 home runs. He went 6 for 6. He went 6 for 6 with 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, has become the first 50-50 man, that's 50 homers, 50 stolen bases in the history of the game, yet he was the first 50-50 man for about 32 minutes.
Tops.
And then he became the first 51-51 man because he had 51 stolen bases at the start of the game and then came in with 48 home runs and went ding, dong, dead, and now has 51 of each, and the Dodgers are up 118-2 or something in Miami. That's what Shohei Ohtani did today, and it is nauseating.
Well, it's awesome.
And yes.
It's awesome.
And nauseating.
Right. I mean, if he had done it in any other color other than Dodger blue, and it is nauseating because he's a Dodger and he's probably always going to be a Dodger. And next year, you get to watch him pitch too. And
you might get to watch him pitch in the playoffs.
Really?
They haven't ruled it out.
Well, I mean, I don't know. To
me, that'd be crazy.
It'd be a little foolish. But and like you said earlier, might have been off the air, but it's root against the Dodger season officially. And
which I hate. Because it means the Giants are out.
Exactly. You'd rather root for your team. And of all the Dodgers that it's easy to root against, it's tough to root against Shohei Ohtani. Even though he's a Dodger, just because of maybe it's, I don't know, his happy face and his boyish charm and his unbelievable talent.
I've felt the same way as you know about Mookie Betts for a little while. Like I don't hate Mookie Betts, but understand this. If you adopt puppies, but you do it in a Dodger uniform, I hate puppies. Okay?
Let's go ahead and save that.
I'd like everybody to understand that. If you adopt puppies in a Dodger uniform, I hate puppies.
That's pretty hard.
Right?
It's pretty cruel.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's the way I'm built. Honestly say, sort of built for this.